Oh, the weather outside is crappy, and it makes me so unhappy. Off to the doctor's office. Aww, that's the sign of a good husband. He got in and cleaned my car off for me early, and then forgot his gloves in my car. All his little handsies are cold.
Off we go to the doctor's office. So, I figured, whoa, four-wheel drive. There we go. I figured since I'm going to be in the car for the next approximate 4 lifetimes today, I figured I would tell the story about my, ooh, it's really bumpy. Welcome to Pothole, New Hampshire. Ooh, sorry. Yeah, so the reason for this long, faraway doctor's appointment is that I have hearing loss. And there's a long story that goes with that. I made a video about that a long time ago, and if you want to see that, I will link it below. So anyway, so I'm going to about 2 hours away to this doctor's appointment to recheck my ear. It's been 9 months since my last recheck. I've had 3 surgeries on my ear. A couple of them pretty big. The last one was just like a tune-up, if you will. I was supposed to go about 4 months ago, but
Oh, this is such... Oh, I look like a demon. How about that? How about that?
and now everyone's going slow, and I got someplace to be. Alright, so when I was born in 1969, and as a kid, I had tons and tons of ear infections. And I don't know if it was just my mom or just like the generation, the philosophy at the time, but when you were sick, you didn't go running to the doctor for every little cough, sneeze, and fart like people do now. So I likely wasn't treated for many ear infections that I probably should have been diagnosed and treated for to keep my ears healthy. I do remember kind of like being sick a lot as a kid, but apparently all the childhood ear infections and illnesses accumulated and caused me to have to develop a benign growth in my ear on the other side of my eardrum inside called a cholesteatoma. So, I would say 2018? Oh, 6 years ago is when I had a sort of really noticeable hearing loss on this side. Before that, I had not been working because I had a hand injury, which I have a separate video on that. We'll link it below. And due to this hand injury, I hadn't been working for a few years. I was on workers' comp. Not a fun time. So I had basically been spending my days at home doing my therapy exercises or at, oh, pedestrian, Jesus, or at actual hand therapy appointments where I was sitting face to face with a therapist. So there was no need for, extra listening skills. It wasn't until I returned to work that it was happening that people were saying, like, dude, hello, I'm talking to you. Hello, I was just talking to you for like 5 minutes. You didn't hear me, whatever. And I was kind of dumbfounded because I didn't hear anything, wasn't aware that anyone was talking to me, so that was a problem. So I had some pretty significant noted hearing loss on that right side. Ooh, a bus just came at me aggressively. So, go ahead, little pedestrian. Everybody else is. You might as well too. Oh, there's the popo. What's happening here? 1, 2, 3, 4 popos. Oh, getting out of here. So, I knew I felt blocked, but I didn't realize I had all that hearing loss until it was pointed out to me at the workplace. So I figured it was time. Oh shit, I want to go this way. Time for an evaluation. I'm going to sit in this damn Dunkin' Donuts line forever, aren't I? God damn it. I won't be late. I'll be fine. Alright, hold please. I gotta get my dunks. Were mirrored sunglasses a bad choice? That's alright. it's so cold. I don't want to put the window down again. Oh, it's so cold. Gotta love the Dunkin's app. No money needed. Ooh, somebody getting a lot of donuts. 6 boxes of donuts. Somebody's hungry or having a party.
Hi there,
Hey there.
412. How are you?
Good, thanks.
Well, there's that for you.
Thank you.
And your coffee. Did you want your slip?
All set. Thank you. You too. Thanks. Whoa, where'd that guy come from? I've gone under anesthesia 13 times in my life. I know, right? It's crazy. That time was the first and only time I ever have experienced me fighting going under. Usually I'm like, oh yeah, bring on that happy juice, because you just get that super relaxed feeling. In the past, I have been made very sick by general anesthesia. With all the procedures I've had, we know my recipe now. So I get, a certain anesthesia that doesn't make me sick. It just makes me just relax and go to sleep. And I look forward to that. It sounds terrible, but when I have to have a procedure, I'm not nervous because I know that going under is very peaceful for me. And I just get the happy juice and drift off. But this time, I just couldn't. I was fighting it. I wasn't nervous or scared. I just could not relax and just conk out. And I remember just kind of laying there like, hello? Why am I not falling asleep? Did you give me the shit? Like, what's happening? I remember feeling kind of groggy, but not being, I remember him saying he was going to numb my ear. I didn't feel any of that. And I remember just kind of saying, do you think you need to give me more so I'll fall asleep? And a woman piped up and said, oh, honey, you're done. So apparently it worked better than I thought it did. But I thought that was kind of funny that I was like, how come I'm not falling asleep? And I was probably asleep the whole time. But anyway, so that healed up without incident. That was kind of minor. There was no packing or anything involved. That was just kind of replacing that, putting the eardrum back where it should be, re-securing it, adding the tube, putting the implant back where it should go, and adding the tube for equalization of pressure. Recheck, everything was fine. He did have to vacuum again. That was gross, but when you have a ear ears are like full of kind of nooks and crannies and caverns, and they kind of get all that post-op junk out, so the suction was a little bit yucky in the ear, but so then I was supposed to, so that was that post-op check. I saw him back in April. We're in February. No, we're not in February. We're in January now. I saw him April of last year. He said come back in 6 months. April of last year was the last time. And he said, just heal up, come back in 6 months, call me if anything changes. Nothing changed. So I was supposed to go back in October. Their schedule changed. So they had to reschedule my appointment, which I never get mad at because God bless surgeons. I've needed them in my life, like I said, a bunch of times, and they always have come through for me and cleared their schedule for me. So I figure if my shit is not emergent, you can absolutely take my spot for someone who I can only assume must need it more than I do. So October turned to December. They had to do it again. Same story, not mad, not having any issues, still can't hear, but whatever. December, then I had to reschedule because I got very, very sick. I had a cough. I actually had a dull croup. What the hell? And I did not want to make this drive and cough in the face of, spread my sickness around. So I rescheduled my December to now it's January, and off I go. So I'm hoping for good news, meaning the good news that I'm hoping for is that we've kind of leveled out. I mean, it seems twisted to hope for this, but clearly my hearing is not getting better. I don't really want to go through any more ear surgery. He's told me before that there wouldn't be any more surgery. There's really no other option, which I'm fine with. The next option would be probably getting fitted for a hearing aid. And I do have the kind of hearing loss that a certain type of hearing aid would be beneficial. Some people can't, it's not an option, it wouldn't help. So I'm hoping I'm hoping that he'll tell me that a hearing aid would be next in line, because I would really like to hear better than I do. I'm not so vain that I would be upset by a hearing aid. I'm actually looking forward to it. My only concern is that I use a stethoscope for work, which I haven't in several months because of this, all these surgeries. I had a precaution where he didn't want me putting anything in my ears, understandably. So it would have to be a kind of hearing aid that can be used with a stethoscope, and I know those kinds are pretty pricey, but it's my hearing, it's my job, so I gotta do what I gotta do, right? And I'm an adult, I would take care of it. I'm not like a little kid who's gonna lose hearing aids. So, off we go. We're about halfway there, and I'm flying down the highway hoping no cops catch up to me. I think there's one behind me, so I think I'll chill the fuck out right now. So that's my hearing story, and I will finish the story after I find out what the ending is at my appointment in just a little bit.
I am so sick of being sick. I'm not in my usual sunny window because the air conditioner's on and it's loud and I'm not shutting it off or nothing.
We went to Canada to visit our daughter, and I brought a nice little summer cold home with me, and I've been coughing ever since, and I'm still feeling yucky in the chest, so pardon my hellish sounding voice. Today's the first day I felt like putting a little lipstick on, some earrings on. These earrings, by the way, are so cute. They're little hearts. They're sterling silver. I thought those would be a nice compliment to this is a sterling heart that has a maple leaf inside, if you can see. And the reason for that, of course, is because my daughter, is in Canada. She lives in Canada. So, yeah, we went and spent some time with her in the motorhome, and I've been sick as a dog with this damn cough. But anyway, so I just wanted to show you my little earrings there. They're so cute. I really love them. But anyway, so the purpose of this video is to update about my hearing loss. I will link below the previous video that I made about a year and a half, 2 years ago, that outlined the beginning, the history of my hearing loss, and an update up until then, about 2 years ago. And then you saw at the beginning of this video the continuation of that, which was started last winter, and I've just kind of been holding on to the footage because it was a kind of a dun 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 to be continued kind of thing. And so now I have the end of the story, and where we left off was we are more wait and see. It's like all about wait and see with this hearing loss thing, and meanwhile, like, life is going by and it's not getting better. And so I finally got some definitive answers that despite the procedures that I had undergone, which were not for nothing, they were good tries, and there were no guarantees. There never are with surgery or any kind of restorative procedures. They do their best. They're not gods or goddesses. They're just physicians with training, and a lot of what they do is guesswork and hoping. And so I had those procedures, and I'm not mad that I did. But the end result is that I was found to be finally a candidate for hearing aids. and I've got them. And I already pointed out my earrings, and I'm betting that you didn't even notice my little hearing aids. Can you see the wire? I don't know if you can even see it. It's right here. There's a little wire. Oh, I'm so deaf without. I've got both, one in each ear. Here's the little speaker, and here's the technology and the battery lid in there. And little baby speaker. And I'm not joking when I've said before in other videos about my ear canals being so small. So just to give you an idea, this is a child size cone. This is called a cone. It goes over the speaker. This is a child size cone. And this one, the clear one, is an infant size cone. So, I wasn't kidding. I've had to have a couple of appointments to kind of fine tune this side with the infant cone, and it's not finished yet because I've actually had a mold made of my ear. Had a mold made of my ear because the infant cone is even too big. Sometimes it slides out, and it's a little bit annoying inside my ear just because it's too big for my ear. But anyway, that's jumping way ahead. So the purpose of me pointing out my earrings, I do kind of really love my earrings, but was for me to be like, was just for an example, like I'm literally gesturing to my ear, and I'm betting that you didn't even see that little wire. Or if you did, then you're very astute and good for you. And I don't care because I'm not vain like that at all. I'm just amazed at how little they show, but I'm not mad that they show. When I was first wrapping my mind around the fact that I was probably going to need hearing aids, I actually had a vision of the ones that sit in the ear, the molds, and I was like, I'm going to get bright pink sparkly ones and all those crazy obnoxious things because that's how I am. But yeah, it ended up that I don't have bright pink sparkly ones, and this the part that's behind the ear, actually my audiologist helped me pick it, and it blends right in with my hair. So I'm very pleased. But anyway, so the end of the story is that we did all these procedures. You know, I had the titanium implant, and then I had to go back and have my eardrum rebuilt again and have a tube put in my ear so that my ear could function properly with the implant. In the end, nothing worked. My ear's just full of scar. It's just not good. And then during that time when I was coming to terms with that, this ear started to fail. My eardrum perforated once. A year later, it perforated again. And after the second perf, it's semi-healed, not healed well. And I just don't hear well in that ear. So I've got 2 hearing aids, and I'm not mad about it. The difference is astounding. When I take them out, like when I just took them out, it stops me dead in my tracks, and I go, oh, I'm so deaf. How did I ever survive before? And at work sometimes at the end of the day, but as I'm leaving, I'll pop them out because not really to save battery, because batteries aren't really that expensive, and the deal that I got with the deal that I got for these hearing aids, they come with 3 years worth of batteries, so I'm not worried about batteries. But when I take them out, it's more just to kind of give my ears a break, give my physically ears a break, but also just give my brain a break from being able to hear everything. And it never fails when I pop them out. I'm like, oh my God, how did I ever survive? It feels like someone shoved a pillow in my ear and I just can't hear anything. And I try to listen to people talk, and I find myself having to read lips again and really struggle to make out what's being said. There is a really good hearing loss simulator on YouTube. I'll link it below. It's just of a woman singing, and it takes you through the different levels of hearing loss. Mine is moderate to severe. So keep that in mind when you watch the video, so you can kind of see how I hear things or don't hear things. But yeah, so the end of the story is I have hearing aids, and I'm not mad about it. And the difference is astounding. The difference it makes in my just level of exhaustion at the end of the day. There is such a thing as hearing exhaustion, and it kind of goes two ways. You can have hearing exhaustion, which is just tired from trying so hard to hear. When you can't hear and you have to struggle to listen and hear, it is exhausting. Especially, I work in the medical field. I work with patients all day. What they're saying to me is very important. So I have to really make the effort to hear. And what my providers are saying is important. So I, for the last couple of years, have really suffered like end of workday hearing exhaustion. There's another kind of hearing exhaustion that I haven't really experienced yet, and that is when you are hearing impaired and you suddenly have your hearing instruments, in my case, my hearing aids, they say to expect exhaustion from hearing so much of the things that your brain didn't have to process before. I can hear the air conditioner going in the other room. I can hear the fan. I can often hear the refrigerator running. We have a brand new fridge, and it kind of makes ice a lot. And I never heard that before. The first thing I heard when I walked out of the audiologist's office was the wind rustling the leaves in the trees. I can't even remember the last time I heard the wind in the trees. And there was a bird in the trees chirping, and I was like, oh yeah, birds make noise. I haven't heard a bird in a tree in years. So it's just insane how much there is to hear. And I've had these hearing aids now for 3 weeks? And I have not found that I am getting exhausted with hearing so much. I do find myself just wanting a little bit of a break at the end of the day. At the end of the workday, I pop them out for my ride home. And maybe if I want to, the really cool thing is I can stream my podcasts or music or TV or whatever through them, so they act like earbuds. And that's cool because I haven't been able to wear earbuds in my ears for a long time. Because of the surgeries I've had in my ear and the perforation, I've been on no earbuds precautions for years. So when I want to listen to something, I have to have the big Beats style headphones, which I don't mind. I actually really like the sound quality in them, but to be sitting on the beach with big honking Beats is a little bit much. So I am enjoying the ability to stream through my hearing aids. So that's real cool. But anyway, so at the end of the workday, I take them out and give myself a break. I have about a 30-minute commute home, so I give myself a break there. And then when I get home, depending what I'm going to do, if I'm going out somewhere or if I'm just going to be hanging out for the night, I'll put them in or leave them out, depending on just however I feel. So I've not found myself experiencing hearing exhaustion from hearing too much. I'm so happy with what I'm hearing. I can hear amazingly, and I've said it since day one. I've had to go back to the audiologist a few times, and that's expected for adjustments and such. And I have another appointment. Like I said, she took a mold of this ear to try to get that little cone to feel a little bit better in there. It's been the best thing. Before, when I was kind of preparing myself and trying to learn about the different kinds of hearing aids, by the way, I have Phonak, Phonak, Audio B. Those are the kind that I have. And I'm not going to go into price because, your mileage may vary. You've got to be an informed consumer and shop around. I did go to 2 other consults before I settled on this on this audiologist. I had 2 other hearing tests and 2 other consultations, and neither one of them felt great. One of them didn't even put anything in my ear or let me try anything, and I felt very much like I was trying to be sold a used car. And I was like, well, I'm not just going to drive the first car, I'm not going to buy the first car on the lot, especially if I don't even get to test drive it, so bye-bye. So I didn't screw around with any of that, but I finally, the 3rd time was the charm. And I will say that I did go through the AARP program, which is, everyone knows what AARP is. AARP, I think it's American Association for Retired Persons. I think that's what it stands for. I'm not really sure. I have that because my husband is older and he has that. And he has that, sorry, there's a little bug. he has that because he is older, and I asked him to get it because you get a lot of discounts. A lot of the discounts that you get are the same as AAA. AAA is American Automobile Association, I think. I don't know. We have AAA. We also have AARP. And AARP has a hearing program. I think it's called Hearing Care or Hear Care. It's on their website. I don't remember. But they claim to be able to save you 20% off, like real good hearing aids, like not just the bottom of the bin ones, like you pick, you choose. And but the only thing is you have to go through their contracted dealers, I guess, whatever you call it, their contracted dispensaries, hearing aid, audiologists, hearing aid retailers. And every community has a AARP contracted retailer in their area. In my area, in my exact city, there were 3. In all of the surrounding suburbs, towns, there were 2 or 3 or 4 in each. I had plenty of places to choose from to go. I just chose the one in my city, and it ended up being the one. And my audiologist is a gem, and I adore her. And in 3 short weeks, I've come to consider her a friend. And she's super sweet and very helpful and down to earth, and I really love her. So anyway, I have hearing aids. You can barely see them, and I love them, and I love being able to hear. And yes, it seems like it was like the last 6 years of surgeries and suffering and everything. It was not for nothing. It was progress. It was steps I had to take to get here. This was the final thing that could be offered to me to regain hearing. Bottom line is, I can hear. I'm happy, and my family is certainly happy. My coworkers are thrilled. My patients are happy for me. A lot of them were well aware, that I had to let them know that I read lips, and, could you face me and speak clearly? So a lot of them are, cheering me on too. So that's the end of my story. I have hearing aids. And if you have any questions about the process, the only thing I'm not going to discuss is money. I will say, if you think you're going to need hearing aids, start saving your pennies. But for me, it was well worth the money that I saved. Oh, I started to touch on it. Through the AARP program, they saved me 20%. 20% of a lot is like a lot. So, anyway, that was the point of AARP. I don't think I finished that thought because, like I said, I'm a little bit sick. I have a lot of cold medicine flowing through my veins right now, so it's probably affecting my thought process. But anyway, so that's the end of my story, my hearing loss story, and I have these hearing aids. If you have any questions about them, I'm an open book. Ask me anything about the process, beginning to end, whatever. Like I said, the only thing I just won't talk about price, because it's going to be different in different geographical locations. And just, I will say, shop around, advocate for yourself. Don't be afraid to ask for, a lot of places have financing. I didn't do that. I just paid. So there are tons of options out there. And bottom line is, it's your hearing, it's your health. You need to be able to hear. It's one of our 5 senses. And the cool thing is, with hearing aids, you get to pre-board on flights. And with the traveling that I do to Canada, that's super handy. And I don't think it's taking advantage of it. I mean, hearing those and being aware of all the safety things that they have to do on airplanes, they want to know. They want you on the plane first, out of their way, and they want to know that you can't hear, and they very much accommodate. So I get to pre-board. I'm so excited. But anyway, so thanks for your time. Thanks for watching. Thanks for keeping up with this with me. And like I said, I will link the first video that I made on my hearing loss, the first part of the story, below. It's from a couple years ago, and this is the update, and I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. I'm going to go drink some tea and take a nap. Bye.